Racing on Tuesday takes place out at the Vaal, and we've got 8 races on the program. Race number 1 commences at 12:10, that being the start of the bipod. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohen. Alistair, how are you doing? And it was a big weekend of racing, of course, all around the world. And Saturday out at Turveteen wasn't exactly kind to punters.
No, it was a mess for punters, Raheel. But what a great weekend. Look, let's start on Friday. Let's start at the Algoa Cup. It was just written in the stars that Dean Smith was going to saddle the Algoa Cup winner in the memory of his great dad, who trained many Algoa Cup winners. The stats are going to show that was another one for Gavin Smith, but I'm sure Gavin will be looking down saying, that's one that Dean definitely deserves. So that was fantastic. That was just a great moment. I thought Friday night, the Pink Drive race meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville went off really, really well. For what it's worth, nominations for Hollywoodbets Greyville on Friday night, just have a look at those, racing fans. There's some huge names nominated for Friday night this weekend. Saturday, the Allard Steel Road on a Mission Mile. Yes, despite the results, Raheel, it was a very good day out. I know that it's cliche when it comes to the race day. Charity wins big. That's the main focus and where they really shine a light on the day. But I thought despite the results not really going according to plan, certainly not for me and not for many punters, Pick 6 paying over 500,000. We saw Tin Pan Alley rise to the fore, beating a mammoth run from Trust and Second. The Dingons and the Hollywoodbets Cape Guineas was really setting up nicely. Valentina Valducci crossing the line in an almighty storm. Had that race been 5 minutes later, we would have been really delayed for the day. And Atticus Finch stamping himself as a Betway Summer Cup winner and Allard Steel Road on a Mission Charity Mile winner, and now he's going to have another assault in the Betway Summer Cup. I was actually looking at the stats. The last horse to win back-to-back Summer Cups was Master Sabina, and before that you have to go back to 1990 and 1991 when Roland Song won it. So it's not easy to go back-to-back in the Summer Cup. And then before that, I think we're going to the 70s when a horse went back-to-back in Joburg Showcase. So he's on the doorstep of doing something that not many have done. Many great horses have failed at that. And then obviously Sunday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, brilliant day. It was fantastic to be back at HQ. I'm a lover of Hollywoodbets Durbanville, but that just felt like the summer season is here. Great day out. Again, Vapor Trail stood out in the parade ring. He wasn't my top choice, only when not looking at form, or when looking at form rather, but a ready winner, and again stamping the mare Silver Stripe as something out the top draw, being a half-brother to One World. As for this meeting at the Vaal, this is where we start the racing week. A little bit of something for everything. We don't have the same quality as what we saw over the weekend. Some races where there are a couple of horses that really make appeals, some where you need to go wide. It's an exotic day. I think the exotics will pay fairly nicely.
Well, let's get into it. Race number 1, maiden plate, 1,000 meters a trip. Favorite here, number 7, Slender Silhouette at 16-10. Number 5, Rockabilly, 7-2. Number 9, My Dear Friend at 9-2. 11-2 about number 8, Queensland. It's then 10-1 and better about the balance. Slender Silhouette, third behind Warm Reception, last time out. Dropping back to the minimum trip. Filly that will certainly have a supporters, as will this horse Queensland, who was 4 lengths off them last time out when going down as a hottie. And then you've got the horse from the Candice Dawson yard having her first start up in the Highveld, Alistair.
This is what I can tell you about number 9, My Dear Friend. I'm not going to pin her up as my top choice, but she's got a winning chance. Her work has been excellent on the Highveld. 133 days off the course, that might be the one thing that catches her up, but expect a very nice run from number 9, my Dear Friend. She should go close, but whether she's going to be fit enough to turn over number 7, Slender Silhouette, 10, Princess of All, who I put in the race, and this first timer that's found support, number 5, Rockabilly. Let's talk about Rockabilly. I'm looking at the family right now. The best performed horse was a 5-time winner called Studio Blues by Twice Over, reached a high rating of 96. And other than that, there is nothing to get excited about from the family. The mare's been through the mill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the 10th fall out of the mare. There's certainly no superstars, but Canford Cliffs has lit them up this season. So, there's clearly some sort of support for number 5, Rockabilly. So if there is a follow-through in the market, take that even more seriously. But I think the 2-2... probably pin up as the right ones, the 7, Slender Silhouette, and 10, Princess of All, in that order. Slender Silhouette, fabulous Cape Form to Military Command and North Point. I'd venture to say that A, she might have been stretched over 1,200 meters on her half-out debut. B, she probably needed the run, and she returned with post-race distress. She could have, because warm reception was in the race. I had a good look at Slender Silhouette. She was 6-10 favourite. She looked a little bit underdone. Terry's yards in fine form at the moment, so I'd expect her to take all the beating here. But I'm willing to draw a line through that last run of Princess of Vaal. She found absolutely zero. She's got a high number draw down the straight to the Vaal on what should be a sticky track. Garisa Mabertia takes 2.5 kilos off the back. And the reason why I think that she's got a winning chance is you mentioned Queensland, who can't be totally discounted. But Queensland was hammered by Princess of Vaal when they met behind Miss Munro over this course and distance, and I see no reason for that to turn around. So order of preference, 7, 10, 9, and then 5 probably best of the rest, 5 and 8 to fight out quartets.
Yep, that is race number 1. Princess of Vaal could be the value in the race, currently at around 10-1. Race number 2 next up, Maiden Plate Fillies and Mares. 1,000 meters is the distance, and having a look here, number 10, Manueletti, favourite at 2-1. There's been support from around 33-10 down 2-1. Number 12, Varicino's Champ. This is trading at 7-2. Son of Socrat, Emerald Forge at 4-1. Masters Lady 9-2. And then you can get 10-1 and better about the balance. Alistair, the second race, these two first-timers certainly of interest here.
Very much so, according to the market, Rahil, but I think they'll have to be fairly good to win. The place accumulator is my suggested bet, and despite the obvious interest in the first-timers, 2 and 3 just for me set a very high standard despite having some pretty ordinary form lines. Emerald Forge has always been held in fairly high regard. I think they're probably surprised that she hasn't won yet, not for one moment suggesting that the expectations are that she'll go and scale some sort of feature races. On debut she ran second behind Crystal Grove. There were no subsequent winners from that form. In fact, I don't even think there is a winner from that form. I'm under correction, but just a quick peruse through that, there's nothing that jumps off the page. Second start behind Sister Golden Hair, she's alright. Ethical's won, but there's nothing else there that's tasted success. And then from her last start, which was a long time ago, again 0 winners from that form line. So that is a little cause for concern, but she did finish in front of Masters Lady, who's in the race as well, and will come in a little bit fitter, having a second run after a break, also back from a 3-month layoff between August and October. Her first run back was a fair run behind Far Beyond, who was clearly a surprise winner last time out, and I think with the fact that the yards in form, riders in form, that Masters Lady is probably the horse worth taking a chance on if you were to look for a winning possibility. So I'm willing to go 3 from 2. But as for these first timers, just having a look at the pedigree, Manueletti by Dan on Platina, the mother was excellent, Merrill. But Merrill, a 10-time winner, her wins came between 1,400 and 2,400 meters. So she's going to want a little bit further, surely. Merrill was trained by Alan Creff, and a lot of the mares and the fillies that Alan trained do generally train on and become very useful racehorses. The progeny become useful racehorses, and Varicino has produced some good horses as well. But this by Socrat, I'd also say that it's probably going to be a little bit too sharp. So I respect the money. In fact, of the 3 first-timers, the one that makes the most appeal, or 4 first-timers rather, is number 11, Mystical Butterfly by Hawaii out of a Vaal mare, but there's 0 interest there. So I can't see these 2 form horses. Of the 2 of them missing in the PA, I'm going to go the safe route.
That is race number 2. Next up is going to be race number 3, and the third race will be the start of the pick 6, 20:1, the off time. Maiden Plate, 1,400 meters a trip, and number 15, Wayne, is your favorite here. Even money, down 9-10. Number 9, Go Johnny Go, at 9-2, and then you can get 12-1 and better about the balance. Now, this horse, Wayne, he ran a cracker on debut when finishing 3rd behind Miami Mountain, and we've seen that form line franked already. Well, at least Miami Mountain coming through to Frankie's own piece of form, and then Go Johnny Go, son of Give Me the Green Light, and they certainly splashed quite a bit of cash for him. 2 million rand purchase, Alistair.
Yeah, do you know how well bred number 9, Go Johnny Go, is out of the mare Touch the Sky? That's proper Basmentine royalty, and they do tend to go for big prices. They're good-looking babies, these ones out of the mare Touch the Sky. I'm just calling up the pedigree now. She's Touch the Sky is a descendant of Munro's Spring, who of course is the that famous Legislate family. And Go Johnny Go is a half brother to Amy Johnson, who was a good mare, and a few others that probably didn't get to the heights expected. Forest God, who cost 3.4 million rand, is also a half brother. So he's got a reputation simply on the price tag he's got, rather than the siblings that he that he keeps number 9 on the card, Go Johnny Go. Callum Murray takes her out for the Decogs. I haven't heard anything. I do normally get information and get a little bit of an idea out of Matthew and Mike, but nothing about number 9, Go Johnny Go, but that's because I've been out of town. Wayne, the favourite. He's the right starting point. He's got an inside draw, and hopefully by now in this big field, we'll know whether we're in trouble or not with the inside draw. But I have backed him up just in case we do run into trouble. Wayne's debut, as you mentioned, behind Miami Mountain, he won. Second horse, Trajanus, came out and won. Wayne made good impression. I went to Lucky Udalakis after that. I said I wouldn't want to run with that next time. He said, brother, it shows me nothing at home. I don't know how it ran third, but I'll take the third with both hands. It was a cracking run, steps up an extra 200 metres. Everything on what you saw on debut fits with number 15, Wayne. There's just the comment from everybody after the race saying that was a little bit of a surprise. So hopefully he didn't flatter to deceive, but on paper he looks the right one. If the inside draw, and if he does take a step backwards, does come to bite him, the horse drawn all the way on the outside, number 2, Arizona Magic's the horse that I'll back up with in this leg of the place accumulator. Last start behind 1-2 Buckle My Shoe, well beaten. Not too sure about the depth of the field. Winner won with contemptuous ease. It's actually his penultimate start behind African Pride, who's now listed placed after running third in the Golden Loom and a near third in the Golden Loom over the weekend. That stands out as the most valuable piece of form. When going through it, the direct winners from that form line include African Pride. Monkey Puzzle came out and won, and then there was one Elusive Red who ran well behind Arizona Magic, also came out and won. So I think that'll suit. I think that'll all play nicely for Arizona Magic, and I think that he represents a little bit of value, or certainly the value in the race, of a price of around 2-1. In a big field, there'll be a bit of place value, so look around for a horse at a big price that might well get into the money, into the top 4. I think your horse like Jetta War, number 12, could be an answer for a top 4. Hesitate to making him a winning chance, but he could be that type of value that runs around as far as top 4 selections are concerned.
That is the third race on the program, but cautious here with the favourite at 9-10. Race number 4, it's an MR75 over 2,400 metres, 13:55 is the off time. Sky Pillar Rock 18-10, favourite Arlington Action and Chabelle both at 4-1. Cartagena 5-1, Shot Trident King at 7-1. 8-1 about Banner Bridge, Voltafast 12, and then number 8, biggest outsider at 20-1. Alistair, fourth race on the program. It's a race where we a bit in the dark with this horse, Scarpella Rock, even a horse like Chabelle. Both horses not really effective over the trip, and Chabelle only been the trip once before. And then when you have a look at the balance, a horse like Banner Bridge has won over the trip. Arlington Action, prolific over the distance, and probably the best horse over this trip.
It's an interesting race, this Raheel. Look, I think the key is, if number 2 Scarpella Rock stays, he wins. It's as simple as that. He's out of a saddle as well as mare, and he runs like, well, certainly last time he ran like he'll get the trip and hitting the line hard behind Iger Samson. But he does remain a question mark because he takes a leap from 2,000 to 2,400. So I'm willing to tip him as my top choice, number 2 Sky Pillar Rock, but there is a disclaimer that is attached to him. He got a penalty for being a loser last time, which I hate. Probably fair, the fact that he got close to a hard-knocking handicap in the form of Iger Sanction. Number 5 Trident King goes in the play as well. I loved his last run. I've been so on and off the Son of Path 4 because I've thought for a long time that elusive 5th career win is just around the corner, and he's failed to do so despite some promising runs. They took the leap of faith, ran him over 2,400 metres last time with the new headgear. And I wouldn't say it completely worked, but it certainly didn't backfire. He didn't take a step backwards, and I don't think he's the easiest horse to ride, but Kelvin should know him well enough. He probably gets the most out of the Son of Path, to be fair, number 5 Trident King. So I think that he'll run another nice race. Wouldn't put the rent money on number 5 Trident King, but I think he'll be there and thereabouts. I'm actually keen that number 1 Banner Bridge is going to give a very good account of himself. So these are the 3 horses in my PA, 1, 2, and 5. Been a long time since his last win. The most ridiculous stat in the world. He's a 7-time winner. He's had 7 different jockeys winning him. And Muzian is actually quite keen to ride him. He rode him back in May when finishing 4th behind the Playboy Bomber over a mile, where again he hit the line running. Last time, Hollywoodbets Greyville on the turf, went down as a companion with Pioneer Square, dropped in, the others just too speedy for him. Ran on really strongly behind Canal Scarter. He came back. He's put in some good, solid work, as he always does, number 1, Banner Bridge. And I won't lie, I'll be disappointed if he's not in the top 3. And I'd like to think that this is his best chance of winning in a while. So put him into your play. Arlington Action would be my next choice. If you're wondering why Sereno Mudley's on number 4, Chappelle, and not number 1, Banner Bridge, that's due to the case that Banner Bridge was a late entry into this race. They reopened this race due to a paucity of entries, and obviously because Sereno won on Chappelle last time, that ride was confirmed before Banner Bridge got into the race. So I don't think there's any allegiance or preference there. It's just the way that the cards fell. So 1, 2, and 5 is how I'm going to play this leg of the place accumulator. I think it's a tricky race, but it's an exciting race all the same.
That is race number 4. Next up, race number 5, start off jackpot number 2, and this is an MR66 over the 1,000 meter trip. 2:30 the off time. Lonely as a Cloud favorite here at 15-10. In the ether, 4-1. Michael Faraday at 5-1. It's 5-1 about the 6 horse Lady Limoncello, 7-1, and better about the balance. Alistair, race number 5. What's your thoughts here? Lonely as a Cloud, 3 rounds at the track, 3 complete blanks. He just seems to be a better horse around the turn.
Fair, perfectly fair. Oh, look, 15-10. I can't give any confidence here about number 2, Lonely as a Cloud. He is limited. He's rated 71. He's a 2-time winner from 17 starts. That's exactly what Lonely as a Cloud is. He's down in class, severely down in class, from a fair last run behind Roaming Spirit, where he took a bump coming out the stalls, had to drop, and that's not a style of running. So I'm willing to say forgive that last run, but with 62.5 kilos, with what he is, he's obviously a winning chance. He's included in my place accumulator. This is some of the lowest company that he's kept. But he ain't no banker for me, number 2, Lonely as a Cloud. If you were looking for a little bit of confidence, I'm afraid, yes, put him in. He's got a winning. If he won, no one would be surprised. He's in good spirits at home. He's doing what Lonely as a Cloud always does, just solid work without taking your breath away. But he's a bit too skinny. He'd be skinny for me no matter what stable he's from. So just treat him with a bit of caution, but include him. My backup here comes in the former number 8 Pacific. Muzieni on board for St. John Gray. Typical St. John stunts, probably a little bit bemused by the fact he's a 1-time winner from 30 stars, despite some fair efforts along the way. Again, he is what he is, but that's the class of this field. 53 kilos with Muzi Yenny on board. Been a while since Muzi rode for St. John. They were absolutely flying a few months ago. Then Peter Sunday became the flavour of the month, and now Muzi's back on board, so he'll have a point to prove. I don't think his last run was all that bad. Back to 1,000 metres, the trip that he won over. St. John's yards in firing form. He had the winner in the Yellowwood in the form of Two-Step Queen, so can't take anything away from that, and he'll be my backup in the race. I had a good look at all the Grant Maroon runners. Michael Faraday back to 1,000 metres. Don't know. He's first and second over this trip. Out of a day Lamy mare, this is one horse that's got to be absolutely stumped. I've been from when he's run no sort of race, and the time that I ignored him, he went and won over 1,700 metres, so I don't know what to expect there. In the ethers, probably in the race. If blinkers work on Oriental Bouquet, it will not be a contest, but I've washed my hands of number 9 Oriental Bouquet. I just think that she's so low on confidence, but if she travels, who knows what we're going to get. And then I also consider number 5 Nkandla Gold. Wherever Pacific is, and Nkandla Gold shouldn't be all that far away. So it's a very, very tricky race. PA, I'm happy with 2 and 8. I'd love to give you a lot of confidence with the favourite, but in pick 6, I'm afraid it's a field race.
Yeah, just having a look at this field, I mean, touch on Oriental Bouquet, but perhaps Nkandla Gold could turn out to be the right horse in the race. Gavin Larino, that is a significant jockey booking for Brett Weber, and he's currently at 7-1, so could be the horse that offers a bit of value here in race number 5. Race number 6 next up, it's an MR82 over 1,200 meters, 3 is the off time. Wide open contest. They're betting 9-2 the field, 2, 5 and 8 all at 9-2, 5-1 about the 6 horse Antonio Gaudi. It's then 7-1 and better by those. Alistair, race number 6, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think I've missed something. I can't believe the price on the horse that you haven't even mentioned him before. Turbo Power, double figures, 10-1. Sereno Mudley takes right. I banked him in the place accumulator. I think that he's... I'll make him hard to beat. I think he needed his last run behind Roaming Spirit when there was an alarming drift about him. Obviously, that form was put to the test by Lonely as a Cloud, a race earlier, to be fair, in 2 divisions weaker than this. But I think think he would have brushed off the cobwebs. I loved his win at Hollywoodbets Greyville in his penultimate start when trying blinkers for the first time in a long time and beating Ishi Quishy, so no surprise to see the blinkers retained. He'll be a fitter horse. I also think he's far better running in a straight line, number 4 Turbo Power. Plus, he's also far better over 1,200 metres. He's more established than some of his rivals that are 3-year-olds still finding their way. But Romilly obviously makes some appeal. Low mileage drive like a master kid has something about him. Ice Dragon could be anything as well. But this horse has earned his stripes as number 4 Turbo Power. I really like his chances, and I don't think he'll miss the top 3, hence I've banked him. I think that he represents all the value on the day, and unless I've missed something, I actually think he's going to be a hard horse to beat. It's as simple as that. Like I said, if you're looking for a pick 6, a few that probably need to be included, but Turbo Power, head and shoulders my top choice.
Sure, that is confidence. Alistair likes number 4 Turbo Power, 10-1 in the market. That could be the play of the day there in race number 6. Race number 7 next up, and the 7th race gets underway at 15:45. It's an MR90 over 1,500 meters. And Presley, Deception Pass, Dylan's Champ, all 4-1 favourite here. 9-2 about Xanthar, 7-1 Open Highway. It's 10-1 and better about the balance. Similar to race number 6, it appears to be a bit of a tricky race according to the market. Alistair, what can you tell us? This horse, Jordan, I know that you've gone for him in the past. Are you in his camp on Tuesday?
No, because I think he's still looking for further aheal. Last time he won was over 2,000 meters. The last neat run of his was over 2,000 meters as well. Just see him running out of racetrack over 1,500. Contender, absolutely, for top 3 chances. But I'm very keen on a horse here. I also want to talk about number 5, Jury's Out. He'll run a better race than he did last time. He finished off his race well from a desperate draw. Don't leave him out of your trifectas and quartets, number 5, Jury's Out, although he's at a price of 10-1, so I'm not telling you something surprising here. I'm most keen on number 1, Presley. I make him the best bet on the day. Gavin Arena takes a ride. I just hope that the high number draws are going to be working at the Vaal down the straight. I'll tell you exactly the configuration, which I failed to do. The outside rails 10 meters in, the inside rails set at 0, so low number draws generally more preferred. But what I have seen at the Vaal in the past few weeks is that under this configuration there seems to be a little bit more fair play, and it looks like you can win from anywhere. And I know that it sounds like it's a bit of a cop-out, but the jockeys generally say this. It just depends where the pace comes from, and I think that is absolutely true with the configuration that we've got. So I'm hoping that the high number draws aren't dead in the water. If they're not, number 1, Presley, hard horse to beat. Loved his last run from well off the pace, also down the Vaal straight with a high number draw. Finished second behind Potberry. This will be his 3rd run after a break, brushing off those cobwebs. His ratings worked down from a once high to a 90. As you can tell from his last run, surely he's good enough to win off a 90, and I'm willing to make him the best bet on the day. So banker in all bets as far as the exotics are concerned. Like I said, dangers 4, 5, they got to come into the play. Open Highway's done me a few favors. Back from a mini break, wouldn't completely rule out his chances, but for me, if I'm looking for something to beat number 1, Presley, then I've got to drop my confidence, and I can't, because I do think that he's a hard horse to beat.
Yeah, Presley 4-1 in the market. It could be a nice double to get involved in. Races 6 and 7, 10-1 shot and a 4-1 shot. Alistair quite likes the look of both those horses, and in excess of 50-1 if you take that win double. That is races 6 and 7. Race number 8 next up, and the 8th race is an MR68 over 1,600 meters. 4 is the off time for the final race, and Sunshine Day along with Gamer are your joint favorites here at 7-2. Number 4 Majaloon at 9-2. Blurred Vision 11-2, 6-1 about Oklahoma Twister. It's 7-1 and better about the balance. Alistair, race number 8. What's your thoughts here?
Hardest race of the day, Raheel. Hard to be confident. 2, 3, and 6 my numbers in the place accumulator. And if we get this far, just hoping to survive. Number 2, Sunshine Day, 705 days since her last win. Absolutely banging at the door. Did her best work late last time. If she adapts to the Vaal mile straight, I think she's the one that they will need to beat. Marco van Rensburg takes her out for Brett Babb. I heard a whisper that Marco's going to be on his way to Dubai shortly to have a riding stint there. But yeah, number 2, Sunshine Day, due a win, but a very Ginger top selection. Number 3, Sheets and Goggles. She's done me a few favours since getting to Pony Broncos at the start of the year. Craig Zaki is on board. Dropped the bundle in her last 2 starts, but I do think that she's coming to calmer waters. Maybe a rating of 68 might give her a little bit too much to do, but in a race of this nature, with a few question marks against a few, can see her being quite competitive. And then number 6, Oklahoma Twister. Jeffrey Seister takes her out for the totally underappreciated and undervalued Heinrich van der Veste in the stable. He's got an aged string with the likes of Jet Cat and a few others that are still going around, but his horses generally run their races. They're consistent. There are no howlers in there. The horses all look well. I mean, I'd recommend, if you're looking for a guy that probably needs a bit of a break, Heinrich could be your guy. Last run, perhaps a tad underwhelming. Probably best down the straight. Number 6, Oklahoma Twister. So we're going back down the straight. In fact, I don't think his last run was total blots on the copybook, because Palace Prince is a 3-year-old who wasn't beaten too far in the Betway Graham Beck, and number 9, Oklahoma Twister is got to be in the reckoning. But everything's in the reckoning. My next best, funny enough, was number 9, Vaal Vegas. I think he's back to a trip that's going to suit him a little bit better than the 2000s that he's been running in of late. But 2, 3, and 6 in the trickiest race on the day is a scratching in the form of number 1, Lapis Lazuli. So that might simplify things ever so slightly.
It is race number 8, field of 9 runners that remain there for the 8th race, or the 1 horse being out now. That is your 8 races on the program outside the Vaal. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now. Alistair will take us through his suggested bet for racing on Tuesday. And Alistair, take it away with that place accumulator.
It gets underway. 1/4-to-1 race 2 on this 8-race program. 2 and 3 Emerald Forge and Masters Lady in the first leg. By 2 and 15 Arizona Magic and Wayne in the second leg. 1, 2 and 5 Banner Bridge, Sky Pillar Rock and Trident King. Then 2 and 8 Lonely as a Cloud and Pacific. Banker number 4 Turbo Power, cannot believe the price, but banker number 1 Presley, and finally 2, 3 and 6 Sunshine Day, Sheets and Goggles and Oklahoma Twister. Like I said, I think it's an exotic day at the race. I think the exotics will pay very nicely, and hopefully we're on the right side of it all.
Turbo Power 10-1, Presley 4-1, and those are the 2 horses that Alistair strongly fancies on the day, so worth getting involved there. But that is it. Place accumulator begins in race number 2. Alistair, thanks very much for your time. All the best, and enjoy your week ahead.
Sure, yep, going to be a very, very busy week ahead, but a few times that we'll be chatting, and we'll catch up on the other side.
All the best for racing on Tuesday.